Oh.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mime Heroes, where you get to watch us talk and pretend to talk to you and not actually
While
talk
we're
to you.
in boxes.
There will be a session.
You missed all the great and amazing jokes.
We solved the story arc. You missed it.
You solved. Congratulations, audience! You solved my audio puzzle. You're that good. That was better than the Donna joke anyway. So there,
way better.
It's much more topical, much more relevant to our interests.
It's
I think Doctor
really
Who's not relevant to our interest.
Yeah, it's just really a shame that they missed how we won countless heroes in the last 5
Isn't that amazing?
minutes.
Yeah.
We just won it.
Right
now.
It's real
Phil did it. I can't believe you did that. Thanks, Phil.
That was crazy.
Wow.
We're gonna be.
I can't believe Rosie ate Tiamat.
Going to be cresting
Beautiful.
over 80 hours tonight, I believe.
Ooh.
So we're rapidly approaching that 100-hour mark in the last 2.5 weeks. How long did it take other popular shows to get to that? Well, about half a year, I think. About 4 hours a night, 25 weeks. That's about right.
It's about quantity and quality.
Yes, we are the soap opera of D&D. It's 5 days a week. 4 nights and 1 afternoon, Tuesday through Saturday right now, although the next couple of weeks we'll have some adjustments we'll be talking about later. And I, a crazy DM for 16 players, 6 at a time. Sometime in the future, maybe more at a time, as we kind of ramp up into some of the more exciting, well, not exciting, they're all exciting arcs, but the more demanding arcs as they face larger and greater foes. But that's for later. Now they're just facing Minotaur skeletons and other sorts of non greater foes. These are lesser foes. They don't necessarily agree with that. So last night,
upper middle class foes.
Yes, upper middle class foes.
Economically flexible foes.
Now we're doing Kentata Pontopical again. That I want to just replace that one line right there. Never mind. Sorry, that was only for the people in this room and only for half of them. So, all right. So Nathan and Rosie were in last night, and they went off to
Anika.
Anika?
You having a hard time hearing me again?
You cut out just when you said the name.
For that word.
Anika.
Thought it was a test.
Anica. For those curious, not Ka. And Anika, don't look at me like that, Rosie. Who is a noble from a few towns over, who had been noticing that the maps that had been coming out of Cinderhaven, the official seal of approval from the King maps, have been removing trade routes that and redirecting all of the traffic through Highwater, which is the major city right outside of Cinderhaven, and then from there on to Cinderhaven, to even going so far as to make them look treacherous or dangerous. And like there were roads there, but they were destroyed by something. So Nathan, the reason why Nathan is involved is Nathan's family are the royal cartographers. Or at least they were before they died about 17 years ago. Nathan took over the business and hired out for contractors and things, and until his uncle came in about 16 years ago and took over the estate. He's been living here ever since, but he is getting tired of it. He wants to return home, and it came out last night publicly that he is looking to marry Nathan off to another royal family or noble family to kind of increase their standing here. Yes?
I really appreciate the tact you had with that. Oh, until his entire family died.
Yeah, well.
Really beautiful.
This is recap time, not story time. Anyway, that was a lot more recap than I expected. The other side of the group, none of which are here, got to witness the birth of new Goa, which is what Sil is. Basically, a living statue race is probably the most layman way of putting it, even though that doesn't really do them justice. The way that these new ones were birthed was not at all how Sil has described or even knows that they could be. There's what's happening is the material that the Goa are made out of is also used to make other things, such as superstructures like the boat lift that's in town. The material within it has gotten sick or infected by something, which is breaking it down and turning into almost like a bark or a cork-like substance, kind of flaky. And now it's being turned into a drug, which is called Daydream, and is now rapidly sweeping through the city. Every so often, people overdose, and they go through fits. They seize up, they start foaming at the mouth, and some of them, at least 3 at this point, succumbed to the drug and then turned into Goa. They turned into statues and then came back to life with no memories of who they were before. This, again, is not the way Goa are born. Goa are created out of air shale, which is the material, sculpted, and then through a very complex series of rituals given life. At least that's what Sil understands, and nobody has a better understanding than Sil does. The Goa, their names First, Might, and Wit. Were taken up to a farm where they were given refuge with a gentleman named Matthias, a crazy old farmer, lives up just on the edge of the forest. And that's where we're going to go ahead and start. Now, normally you guys have a standing lunch date around noonish, but the bars have been full of horrible, rowdy people, like Rowdy Roddy Piper and his friends. No, seriously though, they had some sort of celebration going on in the town. A couple of you understand what it's about. We'll probably talk more about that in game. But it is very hard to get a table nowadays, although the reserve sign that Lark created, spelled poorly and majestically painted in rainbow colors, is sitting on a table at the Beer Forge, awaiting your return if you want the table. So that's that. And but yes, a lot of rowdy, a lot of strange races, a lot of gnolls, a lot of full orcs, goblins, a lot of people that you see around town but you don't see gathering very often are the ones that are involved. Even in Troll or two now and then, you'll catch the trolls and a lot of the full races, like the orcs. They tend to stick to the seedier bars, such as the Rusty Tap or. Well, the Beer Forge isn't seedy, but it's big and it can house a lot of them, so they go there a lot too. So until the 2-week celebration is, or the 1-week celebration, it's actually 15 or 16 days. Celebration is over. Rosie unfortunately has no work at those bars, although she might be able to get work at other bars. But they're just trying to protect her from getting heckled, so her hackles don't get hecked. All right, that's that. So, but we do have the morning. So if there's anything anybody wants to do in the morning, now is the time to talk about that. Does anybody have anything they want to do?
Nathan is going to go back into his archives, and he's going to start studying more of the maps.
Okay.
He's just going to kind of memorize and familiarize with them so he knows.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Oh, right off the bat, okay.
Why not?
What is? Investigation, where'd that go? Did it roll?
Nope.
It's no.
There's sometimes a bit of a delay, but it's been
It
a little
also
while.
may have logged you out.
Oh, yep. It logs me out.
All right, we'll get back to that. Anybody else?
So, Logan, while the rest of the group has been, I guess, fighting street crime and drugs, I assume I've been spending the whole week just researching, trying to figure out anything else about this blighted air shale.
Which you can do, but at some point you're going to have to give up because there just is no more information. Air shale is the rarest material in the world, and there's very little information about it. Secreted away maybe in the most hidden of libraries, you might find some information. But the Goa are a new race to the world. They only started appearing as a race for the last 50 years, maybe. So there's not a lot known about them, along with the chitin and the
Farosh, yeah. So there's no major breakthroughs that I'm going to be able to make during the week.
But you also spend a lot of your time at the beer forge, probably working.
Well, I'm not researching. Yeah, I'm more at work.
Sure.
Very little sleep. Lanik probably looks very haggard today, not unlike myself.
So you will have been warned by Ivy that she will be taking the next 15 days off. She takes 2 weeks off every year. It's the busiest 2 weeks of the year, only because it's fairly consistent. It's not like any one particular time is busier than you've seen it. You've seen it really busy, but it seems to be busy just all day as people come out of the woodwork to kind of celebrate. The celebration starts on the anniversary of the death of one of the heroes of the town, which you think, oh great, we're honoring the dead, except that that's not what it is. It is basically a celebration of the king's reveal of being a vampire, and they call it the rising. They hail the rising, which is Lady Enith's death, leading up to the town turning against the king, and then the cleansing, which is the king using the creature to destroy hundreds and thousands of lives. It's a very interesting couple of years. It's happened every year, and after the first year, Ivy said that this would be the time she'd be taking off to self-reflect. She keeps the bar open because, it's like Black Friday. You pay the bills, but unfortunately, and in this economy right now, when everything can turn on a dime, you can't say no to any dollar you can get. So you've been dealing with a lot of rowdiness, a lot of crazy song singing, and chanting about praising the king and praising what he did. To the rising and to the cleansing is said over and over again, to the point where the words almost start to lose meaning because you just heard them constantly as you're working.
So I'm Mal Reynolds in a bar on U Day. Gotcha.
Yeah, that may have been a little bit of the inspiration. So
I managed to get it to roll.
Oh, goody.
That was
Yeah, you're like, you're looking at all the art, and you're like looking back at the art that you did like years ago, and you're like, I'm so much better now. You're just like comparing and wanting to go back and redo the art on them, and you're not really paying attention to the important parts you're supposed to be looking at.
That's really painfully accurate, Logan.
I know artists. I've been around it my whole life. Yes, Rosie.
So, because I'm not making money at most bars, I am going to try and perform in the street and pick any pockets of some of those nasty looking people.
Just staring, just insight check all day. Do you look nasty? Do you look nasty?
Or any of the people that bothered her the other day.
Yesterday.
Sorry. So can you say that again? I only heard part of it.
Okay, so since Rosie's not making money at any of the bars, she's
Right.
going to try to make a little bit of money in the street.
Okay, sure.
And potentially pick a couple of pockets of some of those nasty looking people. Like if she saw any of the goblins that gave her issues or that dwarf again.
It's hard to find those people in particular with how many are kind of hanging out. but I mean, I'm sure you'll find a few. I'm not going to make you roll. We'll just say it's you're replacing your income with it for now. And I'm not going to worry about it right this second because it's kind of what you do. So you're good at it. You're good enough that in large crowds like this, you can get away with at least taking that time and being careful and making the same amount of money you'd make playing or whatever. So just replace your income with that for this week, and that's fine. All right. Lark?
He's not doing anything in particular. He's going to be just kind of wandering around the city, taking in the sights and looking at all the new people.
Okay. So yeah, there's lots and lots of new people. Again, they're not new people necessarily. They are just not usually seen gathering this publicly, this openly, because a lot of times, 3 or 4, 5, 6 of them get together, they start getting harassed, or they start doing harassing, and they just find that, they seem to keep the shadows for the most part. Maybe they come to this town. I mean, there may be some new people, but a lot of them you've seen around on the docks and things like that, just especially since you've been here a while now. But there is seeing them gather like this and people watching is definitely an adventure. And Syl.
Syl spent a big chunk of the morning painting her face a little anxiously, deciding it wasn't good enough, washing her face, and starting over, and doing that a few times to the point where she just decided not to paint her face today. And then she would go to the park and hang out with whatever if she could find him, because she needs someone with a slightly more chill energy than what's in her brain right now.
Okay. All right. So you guys take care in your mornings, and unless anybody says other. Oh, GB. I'm sorry, I missed GB. What's GB doing?
GB picks a few bouquets of flowers out from the flower shop, and then puts those in his bag, and tries to find Syl. And I think by that point she had moved on to the park. So I think at some point while he's looking for Syl, he runs into Lark and just wanders the city with him.
Okay. Perfect. That works for me. All right, so unless anybody says otherwise, you guys are going to head for your standing lunch date. A nice little plot device we've kind of shoehorned in here to get you guys to gather on days when you don't have anything else to do initially. Yes, Syl?
Every sitcom since the beginning of time has used this conceit, so if it's not broke,
don't fix it.
Are we a sitcom now?
It's more of a plot convenience than a plot device.
Yeah,
That's true.
There's no shame in it, is all I'm saying.
Like Cheers, but
Where
fantasy.
everybody... No, the whole entire... Let's do a D&D game where the entire game takes place in the bar. That would be amazing. Like, just nothing else but the bar. Hundreds of hours just sitting around.
We're sitting at a table. We're sitting at a table right now, and all of a sudden, the entire side of the bar just yells out, "No!"
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So you guys start to gather. Let's see here. Let's go in reverse alphabetical today.
Rosie.
That means Rosie shows up first again, as usual.
That took longer than it should have.
Hey, if you run an hour and a half of sleep, then you can tell me all about the reverse alphabet.
Fair enough.
I'll have Mike recite it backwards for me. That'll help.
Math,
All right. What was that?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. So, you guys are too much. So Rosie, you show up. It's not as crowded as it was yesterday, but it's still fairly crowded. There's a few 2 or 3 tables that are available, including the one that is reserved for you guys, evidently. Anything you want to do as you go in, or anything you're looking for or watching? Do you want to order anything?
We're just gonna look around a little bit shiftily, and then clamber up on top of her table.
Okay. The beer forge is usually where you guys meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if we were meeting at the beer forge, if we were going back to the tea place.
That is an option, but you guys wouldn't all know that is the problem. So.
Yeah.
But you can always change your mind when you get there. There is some singing going on today, Rosie. Not as exuberant as it was yesterday, but that same song seems to be sung maybe 3 or 4 times a day in here, maybe even more than that, because you keep catching it every time you run by. And then let's see, probably the end next, right? Nathan.
Yarp.
So you show up as well and see similar crowd, not the same people as yesterday, singing the exciting songs about the triumph of the king over the people and the mass riots and peasantry who don't know what's good for them and just constant.
Yep. Really loves that reminder.
I forgot to mention that Rosie is wearing her new dress today.
Aw, so Rosie is on top of the table wearing a dress.
Poofy petticoats.
Mags is on his shoulder again today. As she
Lark,
typically is.
Okay, Lark is next. So Lark, you I don't know if you've been to a bar yet at this point with last day or two, but you see a similar thing. Just lots and lots of people. There's a big mix of people, just a larger percentage of goblins and orcs and gnolls, and a lot more odious personal habits, a lot of spitting, a lot of nose picking, just more grossness than you're probably used to.
He's going to go up to he's going to look over and see the table and Rosie and Nathan over there and just kind of nod and wave to Rosie. Go up to the bar and he's going to order a milk. And he's going to say, not on a stick. Milk doesn't go good on sticks. And wait for it, and then go to the table.
All right. The dwarf behind the bar serves you relatively quickly because they're fairly busy and a little understaffed. So then it's Lannick.
Well, since we've established there's not a back kitchen area, Lannick probably comes out of one of the storage rooms.
Okay.
Looks like he hasn't slept much, pretty haggard. And immediately gets in an argument with one of the dwarves behind the bar about why some of his supplies were left out when he specifically told them to put them in the cold box. And when they pretend like they don't know what the cold box is, he goes into this long explanation of how he's trying to build a refrigeration system using alchemy.
All right.
He's trying really hard to figure out how to make ice cream so he can sell it, but the other dwarves keep leaving his supplies out, and he's getting rather testy about it.
I love it. All right.
Lark notices that his milk is warm, and he's a little bit bummed.
Then we go to GB.
So GB hung out outside, trying to find Syl still as Lark went inside. So he's going to come in and see if Ivy's around, which I think she's on vacation now.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So decides to join the party instead. Just goes over to the table.
All right, and then we've got Dennis. No, Syl. Go ahead, Syl. I was going to add a bunch of new NPCs, just all within between G and C. And
Did
just,
you say
like
Dennis?
yeah, just Dennis.
That's
I
my
wanna
dad's
Dennis,
name.
Danny,
And
didn't
my
know-
That's
uncles.
my dad's name.
I didn't know you were called Dennis. Well, you didn't bother to
Debbie.
ask now, did you?
Devin.
Oh wow, that's one. That's early for that one. Be prepared for wild magic.
Well, I
Okay.
missed it. All right. What was the quote? Was it a Monty Python?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Was it Flying
That is a
Circus
little
or was it one
the
of the
Grail.
movies? Oh, okay, Grail. Oh, Grail. Ooh, that's
The
a bad one to do.
Grail.
For those that don't know, we have a one reference per movie rule. Whoever does the second reference gets a penalty. If the players do it, they get a wild magic surge, which could be beneficial. If I do it, they get advantage or some other appropriate benefit in the moment. So keep us honest.
So, Syl will eventually make her way to the bar and just sort of open the door, see the crowd of less reputable folk, and just sidle up to the table and try to not make much attention of herself.
Okay.
She's very lost in thought right now.
All right.
Hi, Sil.
Oh, hi.
How you doing?
I'm okay. It's a little bit of a morning.
Yeah, the book was interesting over the last few days. You
Yeah.
doing okay?
I'm alright, I guess. Just processing.
As a side note, because it looks like we have some new listeners, the book they're speaking about, they each have a magical tome called the Tome of Transcription, which when one of them writes in it, it writes in all the copies. There are 20 copies out there, one for each of the players, plus a few of the people that have set them up to get them kind of going and helping out with the resistance. They're attuned, and only the characters can read their own tome. Read your tomb. Here lies Nathan.
I feel called out.
You were the first one I saw. I'm sorry.
And only Nathan can read it. It's so
Right.
tragic. No one else
Yeah.
knows.
No one else knows.
It's like the picture of Dorian Gray, except not.
And if they ever unattune, the books will wipe, and they cannot be brought back into the fold. So if anybody ever loses one of their books, they are stuck without one until we resolve how that's going to happen. Because these books are not forever. They will if they unattune, they completely blank out. So. And they've been instructed not to make copies of it anywhere because that would kind of defeat the purpose. But I don't know, some people might be. Anyway, so that's that. So that kind of catches you up with that. Go ahead, GB, sorry.
It's okay. I have something for you, and he'll mage hand a small bouquet of flowers out. Here you go.
What color are they?
They're sort of a mismatch of purples and yellows.
Well, you got kind of close to blue this time.
Oh, I wasn't going for blue. They're red, aren't they?
They're on the spectrum, and she'll
Excellent.
grab them. They're very, very nice, thank you. And she will start plucking some of them off the stem, like plucking some of the stem, like maybe a couple inches, and start like tucking them into her hat in like random spots.
All right.
I have some for your well, hopefully our new friends, if we get to see them today.
Oh, I'd like that. I hope they would like the flowers.
I don't know. We'll find out.
They're at the table right now, right?
Yep.
Nathan's gonna kind of lean over and kind of put his hand on the table near Syl and go, "It's very good to see you again, by the way. I haven't seen you in forever."
I know. I fought a minotaur skeleton.
I've heard. That sounds perilous.
It hit real hard.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You're resilient. Nothing keeps you down for long.
You should growl more often. It's a good look.
Is it? Am I intimidating that way?
Very.
Whoa.
He's a natural.
How will I mean? Good boy. He's gonna pat his head.
Oh, thank you for the yes and Andy. He's yes Andy.
That is so becoming a thing.
Now I have to be a worse improviser. Gosh.
That's impossible.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
So, especially Nathan, you know how there were those goblins picking on me the other day? Making
Yesterday?
me mad?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
tried to punch one.
You want me to punch one?
No, I got
They'll
even.
go farther. What'd you
That's
do?
what-
Will it go farther?
Sorry. What?
Thank you, Lark. That I
Where
know.
did you pull that? Rosie, that's dirty. Wait, don't put that in your... Okay.
What's the problem?
Did you not see that she just put a coin in her mouth?
What's the problem?
What's it taste like?
Exactly. It tastes like a coin.
It's dirty.
What does a coin taste like?
Metal.
Metal, probably.
Sort of like if you bit your lip a little and then you started. Oh no, never mind.
Syl goes to her hand where she's got all those brass rings and is just like doesn't really get anything, so like looks at her shoulder.
Syl, stop it, please. Stop.
I put everything in my mouth. Almost.
No, okay, you must have the immune system of a horse.
But,
Or a goblin.
question. I know that we all meet here, but would it be okay for us to go to the tea place? Because I want to buy
Please.
sweets.
Can we please go to the tea place? I don't like being here.
Sure.
Sweets
Is
are
it
on.
less crowded there? I'm for that.
The music's better.
Rosie's gonna hop off the table and start shuffling out the door.
Okay, okay.
GB will follow, I guess.
So will Nathan.
Okay, we're going now. Drink your milk quick, Lark.
It was warm anyway, it's fine.
Oh, bring it for the tea.
He goes back, picks it up, and
Okay.
We're here all the
bring it.
time. Just bring the glass back later.
I already have 4 of them at home.
That feels real.
I knew
That
that was
feels real.
Lennox, would you like... Are you on break? Why don't you come with us?
Oh, I'm off today. I can come with you. You didn't like your milk because it was too warm. Why don't you try this? And he gets out of the cold box and he grabs a popsicle and hands it to Lark. I said, I had to use some leftover meat skewer, so it might have a bit of a funny aftertaste, but give it a try, see what you think. Let me know.
Does it taste like meat?
We like strawberries with like a faint meat aftertaste.
Umami.
You mean my
strawberries.
diet?
He loves it. I rolled an 18 to see con check. So. These should go on sale.
I'll talk to Ivy when she gets back.
Just sell them of every different color.
But not flavor.
This flavor works.
Blue strawberry, green strawberry, purple strawberry.
They are meaty. Pesk will like them as well.
That's true. I should ask Pesk what she'd think. I think I could even get some ones that would be okay for a GB to eat, as long as I don't use chocolate, right?
A cold meaty thing that I can lick?
Aye, here, have one.
Yes, please.
Use your magey hand.
Ooh, thank you.
Dog walking the street with a popsicle floating in front of him.
Beautiful. Mike, was that a constitution check for
Where's the fan art?
For brain freeze?
Yes. And flavor. It was everything.
Nice.
When in doubt, roll random number to see how good it is.
Yep. All right, so you guys head down the street, not too far to the tea garden, right? That's where you're heading. Yeah. Which, as you'll notice on the map, is not that far down the road. As both those things are on the map now. You head down.
There's a map view.
There's a map. There's a map. So you guys head down a little bit. A few minutes later, you're at the tea garden. It is fairly busy, like it was yesterday, but that doesn't mean there aren't any tables. Just outside seems to be a little bit more packed than inside. But it seems like a lot of the other people you normally would see at the Beer Forge are here today. And probably will be for the next couple of weeks.
The clientele just completely shifted over.
Not 100%, but yeah, quite a bit.
When we get there, I'm gonna look around. Do I see any familiar faces?
Probably several. I mean, there's upper middle class here and stuff, so I'm sure that you recognize a few of the people.
I was gonna say one particular man I'm not too keen on.
You have to be a lot more specific.
Tybalt.
No, Tybalt's not here today. Tybalt is
Thank
doing
God.
other chores today.
You had to go be a dick somewhere else.
Yeah, so Nathan's body, relax.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna get a bunch of sweets. You can all have some.
And she's gonna wander up to the counter.
Oh, wait.
That was on Mike. That was bad.
That was amazing.
So hold on, Jenny. You spent that whole. You didn't even get a chocolate coin. You just got a regular. Oh my god! I was so proud of you for thinking ahead.
That is the woman that I'm in love with. That is the woman that I will probably marry one day.
She's eating coins.
That is the woman that I'm adopting.
And that is the woman. And that is the woman you'll be spending money on dental work for.
This is the
my teeth are fine.
Show that gets the soap opera title.
Oh my god, Angela!
I'm sorry, you had to hear the crinkle. I didn't mean to.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was a great touch.
An unpleasant crinkle, Rosie.
Rub it against fangs. Just wanders up to the counter.
Rosie just shakes her head to make it rattle.
That's a fear tactic.
Go freaking rattlesnake.
She gets intimidation advantage if she puts
like,
the coin in her mouth. It's bones!
Why is that doing that?
It's my bones.
So she waddles up to the counter and goes,
How many pastries can I get for this?
So Kurt Bramblenut looks down at you from his 5'10" frame, standing next to his plaque on the wall that says "Certified World's Tallest Halfling," and he looks human to you, but there's the plaque and it says "Certified." So he looks down and reaches out to take the coin from you. I said, "Lass, you can eat and drink all day long for that."
Okay. And she's gonna point at the plaque and just be like, "That's a really good achievement, by the way."
It took a long time.
I can imagine. It's not just for me though. It was also for my friends.
And he kind of just nods and says, "That's fine. We're doing well today. This will be fine. Several of them were here yesterday, or at least 2 of you."
Thank you.
She's gonna head back.
Just be like, "Okay, you guys can get whatever you want. As much as you want, apparently."
Okay,
And she's gonna go running back and get one of every single thing that's covered in chocolate or sugar.
Okay, that's several things.
Are there hard candies?
They have a couple of little dishes of hard candy. Yeah.
Still takes a handful of one particular color of hard candies and then walks back to the table.
All right.
Is there anything that's more savory?
They have sandwiches. Yeah, they have little little. They're actually fairly hearty looking, but they're little tea sandwiches. But they're actually. It's not like 90% bread and then something smeared in between. It's actually like an actual sandwich.
He's gonna grab a few for himself and GB.
Thank you.
And he's gonna grab some tea. He's gonna bring them over and he's gonna set some sandwiches down for GB to enjoy.
So on the counter there is the tray that has like 50 little jars of all the different blends they have. Several of which are different colors. They denote that they're the ones that are the local stuff that they had grow within their own garden, and then local found around the city, and then the exotic stuff. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want. You can also do your own blend. Behind them are all these large, almost like apothecary jars, but they're not. They're just just normal sealed jars with all the different ingredients. You can just pick and choose what you want.
He's gonna pick because what I'm drinking. If there's something akin to rooibos, he'll take that. So a red tea.
Okay. They have a Roy Oberson.
Okay. Gonna take that.
Lanik will hunt for whatever is the most exotic and or spicy food item on the menu.
Not a lot of spicy food here, but they've got some. I mean, they've got like some jalapeno jelly and some things like that.
Yeah, we'll just order one of those and a water.
Okay. All right. For those that order tea, they bring over the little pot with different temperatures of water. Put down different colored hourglasses next to each of the pots, and start the steeping. And turn the hourglasses over and walk away. Oh, he does stop and look at Nathan and say, "Don't oversteep today," and then turns and heads back.
As soon as the little hourglasses, each one ends, Lark is going to immediately flip it back over, just as each one ends.
All right.
And he's amused with that for several minutes.
Next to
and you can count how many minutes.
Here you go. Next to Lark, Syl is explaining to him that she has a theory she wants to test with the hard candies. If I make a white paint and I melt the candy, I could maybe use it as a sort of like I could use the sugar as like a binding agent, and it might tint like white paint. See if I can make like a pink or something with it, and then it's partially edible.
Don't do that. I'll lick your face.
Oh, sorry. Partially.
Have you already licked her face? It is empty today.
It's not covered in candy, so no.
Just a future project. She wraps it up in a paper and starts crushing them with a fork.
All right. These are hard candies. I don't know if you're going to be able to do it with a fork, but you get to it. You get it going.
Can I if I rage?
You probably break the fork first.
Screaming in the back room.
It's like, excuse me, Logan. I have expertise in athletics. I think I can break some candies.
Lark offers her the butt of his dagger, to use.
Oh, thank you. I have one of these. I was just being lazy.
Sir or madam, this is a fine establishment. We want us to ask that you rage quietly.
So, while you're enjoying your tea, I was hoping that we could potentially go meet the new Stony friends.
That was my plan for the day, if anybody else minded.
I'm always down to meet new friends.
I have 100% success rate in making friends with Goa, so I have high hopes.
High hopes.
High hopes.
Oh, well,
Yep.
wouldn't that just mean that if things go wrong, they'll just make it sadder?
They won't go wrong.
He has no reason to think they would. He's got 100% success rate.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't
I have
succeed
evidence.
if you don't try.
He could retire right out undefeated as the champion.
But then I would make no more friends.
Champion Goa friend. You don't have to retire.
You could get a plaque like the one behind that counter.
Hey, Logan, Do halflings in this setting, do they have slightly pointed ears?
Some do, sure.
Fingu has pointed ears.
Yeah. Does this man have rounded ears? I'm gonna look at the guy standing next to the plaque.
They have rounded ears, but some halflings do too.
Dun dun dun. It's called "Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover," Nathan. You should know that.
He just cocks an eyebrow at the one that you can see, because the other one is like under the eye patch.
But that's what explicitly what a cover's for. That's why books have covers, so you can judge them.
I always paint on the inside of book covers as a surprise. Don't tell Pimble. I'm just kidding. I thought about it really hard, though.
Well, that would have made last week's research much more interesting if there had been some colours in them.
I think Pimble would have been mad if I had done that. That was like rule number... It was one of the first rules.
But maybe if you did it in glitter, it wouldn't matter so much.
Oh, I think he'd hate me more.
If you did it sparse enough, you might just think that the glitter had come off of him.
We could use the glitter to track down who else has access to the library. Like when a bank puts paint on money to track who steals it. But then we just look around town and look for people with glitter on their fingers.
Well, considering nothing gets rid of that. He's gonna point to the streak he used to have a streak, and he's cleaned his fucking facial hair multiple times. He's still got a little bit of purple glitter in his beard, like that's not coming out.
Or we could just talk to Oshin.
I was about to say, just tell the king of the botchery that Oshin did it. I'm sure you'll get away with whatever you want.
I enjoyed my glitter finger joke.
Nathan, if you'd like, I can get some of that off with prestidigitation, or you could go down Pimble's tower slide.
I think it adds a little bit of charm.
Just paint over it.
Painting will not solve this problem. Not on my face. Sorry.
If you use my glitter paint, if you have glitter everywhere, you don't have one speck of glitter to worry about.
How about this, Sil? Later tonight, or whenever we next hang out, I will let you paint my beard once. So choose wisely.
Sil drops the dagger.
Don't make that face at me. Don't make that face.
What face? What face? I don't have much of a face. I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't do
just
that.
her eye ridges. Her eye ridges move. She doesn't have eyebrows. Really have to remember to paint eyebrows at some point. But I've never gotten them even, so I just don't try anymore.
You want me to do it?
Now.
I have a kit that will let me do it.
I have a kit too, and she rattles all the paints in her bag.
Well,
It's less about material, more about,
I also have fake eyebrows.
We will talk another time.
Okay.
Today is not that day.
Just find Sil with a glitter-covered eyebrow across her lip.
And it's like one of those really nicely arched ones, so it's not...
So it's only twisty on one side.
Yeah.
And it's on upside down.
It's very Salvador Dali.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
So are we going to be going to see the other...
Okay.
Bye.
We're gonna go see the Goa bots.
I do not know where they hang out.
I think I last saw them at Owen's.
It's
they're
at
at
Owen's clinic.
I think
Or are they at the farm?
Yeah, the book said that they might be going to the
The
farm.
farm. Right.
I mean, that's the last place that I saw them.
Logan, can you confirm if That was in fact the last location they were going to be. Was at the farm?
Nor deny. What did I thought Joe posted something today in the chat about it?
I can message him.
Or maybe they were going to take them to the farm after I got a chance to talk to them.
Possibly. I mean,
We can just hand wave it. I
the
feel like
worst case scenario, we can go to the clinic, and if they're not there, then we can just be like, oh, they must be at said farm.
Yeah, I don't think Joe would mind if we just hand waved it and said he was being cautious and they're at the clinic until I could meet them.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm pretty sure he said something about them already being going up, but they would not have wanted to hang around the clinic. Is part of it.
Oh, then farm's fine.
The last note says that Owen vows to go to the farm to ask if the Goa can stay there.
Okay. We're gonna say that happened yesterday, or maybe this morning.
Okay.
I thought that Syl and Owen had some sort of communication today on our chat.
I just said thank you. I painted a picture and told him thank you. I don't think I got a response, or it wouldn't have been in the book by now, because it was something she did last night. Unrelated to the Goa being born, she had heard about the first thing he'd done to help.
Okay.
So we're going to the farm?
Yeah, it'd be nice. I haven't been to one in a couple of years.
Is that a happy hesitation?
It's a complicated one.
I don't want GB to go to a farm where he can run and play.
Why not? It's upstate. It's fine.
Andy, no!
Don't go into the light.
Don't go. A relevant tangential joke, if you would indulge me.
Sure.
I saw a thing today that was a dialogue between a mom and a dad, and it was like, how do we tell him? I don't know. And so, dad walks over to the kid's drawing a picture of the family, and the dad walks over and scratches out the dog.
No.
That's so terrible!
Oh my god. That's
All right,
awful.
so when my daughter's like 6, I'll try this and I'll report back my findings.
Like, hey, buddy, can I borrow that crayon?
Calm down there, Satan.
Anyway, sorry. I literally saw it today, and this was the perfect moment to share it.
Yes, it was. All
What
right.
happens to dogs when they...
You guys are monsters. You guys are
I
monsters.
can't finish my thought. I can't finish it.
Probably for the best.
Okay, so we're going to the farm.
Yes.
All right, so you guys head out of the city. Is there anything you want to get before you start tromping works. Tromping through the traipsing. That was the word I was looking for. Traipsing through the farmlands.
I would like to get a sun hat that matches my dress.
All right. So you want to get a fancy hat. So you go and stop by
A haberdashery.
Hottie's Haberdashery. And Hottie's not in today, but you stop by there and you pick up a very fine sun hat that puts you back 5 silver. Unless you want a deluxe one with like extra crap on it.
I'll put extra crap on it myself.
I will crapify it myself, thank you.
Logan, is it at all feasible in the time that we've been working with the Phoenix Dawn for me to have found somebody who could make me a collapsible crossbow? Something that's more easily hidden?
It is being worked on. The collapsible crossbow sword gun is in production.
Is this rude?
What if I just want one of those?
Well, then you may want to go and change the order because
I'll
somebody
settle for
put
the
in an
early
order for
access
a
model, that's
for
okay.
a collapsible crossbow gun sword. The cross gun sword bow thing is currently being developed by the Green Iron Village, the Green Iron Guild, out in the forest. So if that's something you're interested in, yeah, you can go out there and talk to them. But they are the ones that have been working on some of these specialized weapons.
I realize as that would represent a detour from where we're supposed to go. I don't know if I could retcon that since
Well,
my
it's actually-
character's been a lot more infrequently attending.
Where you're going is actually on the way to there, so it actually works out. But it is quite a walk, and if you don't know where you're going, you wouldn't find it. You get lost.
If only I had looked at the map.
They're not on the map, unfortunately.
Oh.
Not this one, anyway.
I think a number of us have been there, though, so if you wanted to go, we
Mark
could definitely
knows
help
the
you.
way or what to look for.
So yeah, so that could be. I mean, I don't think you're going to be all day at the farm, but we'll see. All right, so you guys go heading out for a walk. It takes you probably about an hour to walk up to the farm at the edge of the forest. And this is a nice farm. It's got just a very simple wooden fence, kind of all the way around. It's a smallish farm, maybe 2 acres, not very big. Looks like it's just him, personal, whoever this gentleman is, Matthias. And you see a few goats, a couple of alpaca, and maybe a cow roaming around. The cow is probably just out wandering through other people's fields as well at this point, because I don't think 2 acres is enough for a single cow.
But a noticeable absence of dogs.
No puppers. Goats. All the goats look very old too. They're all kind of rickety and don't look like they're really doing well. I mean, they're doing fine, but they're
So he's
they're
not
old.
a good goat farmer.
No, he's a good goat farmer. He just doesn't have any new goats.
Gotcha.
They're all old goats.
GB goes over and spends, I don't know, about 10 minutes talking to the goats.
Okay. GB, give me
Are you subtly trying to herd them?
an intelligence check.
Does your natural herding instincts kick in and while you're talking? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm not like
to them,
that.
just like shuffling in their direction, being like, "Yeah, hey, you crowd my personal space a little bit. Move over there. Okay, now a little bit further."
I'm so sorry. That's my father. I'm not like that.
Jeez.
He came from a different time. You okay over there?
That is a 20 total.
You recognize several of these goats. They were Hobbs's.
I spent 20 minutes talking to them.
All right.
Syl points at one of the alpacas and tells the group, "I got my first stole from one of those things." She's got her black fur on her shoulder.
For clarity, Hobbs was GB's original owner and the person that made GB sentient through the Awaken spell. And yes, GB is a dog, in case anybody didn't clue in on that yet.
Our canine is a joke. And it's shorter than awakened canine.
Yeah, our canine is adorable.
Hobbs was a goat farmer, so I have
he
a
bred
strong
goats
connection
for
to
goat
goats.
yoga. And goat cheese.
Goya.
Goga.
Goga.
It's
Yeah.
Gogurt.
Yoga.
That's where Gogurt
Yoga.
comes from. It comes
Definitely.
from goats.
Yep. And that's how we got sued. Yep. That's exactly right.
For our species
Andy and I
and
suddenly have pressing
unfounded claims.
business
Andy-
somewhere else.
Andy, you and Loki need to keep your lawyering out of this game. I only like
Okay,
rules
I'm
lawyers,
sorry.
and I don't even like them. Don't tell me how we're going to be sued. Tell me how we're going to stop being sued.
Something
End the
unplugged
stream
just gets unplugged.
immediately.
Yeah.
Click.
Anyway,
Quick, cut to commercial.
Delete
cut
all
to-
evidence.
Why we need that 7-second delay, Logan? I told you. 6 isn't enough.
Sorry, I'm sorry. If the McElroys can get away with this crap they say, we can say Gogurt comes from goats.
that's probably true.
It's spelled
Listen, we
especially-
can't mention the McElroys unless we get that good McElroy money.
It's Gogurt.
To quote
Go
Wand
over.
Radio.
To Wand
Okay.
Radio, thanks for everything. Thank you. Deep cut.
Yeah. So,
Before one of them went
Goat
to jail
farm.
for tax evasion.
uh-huh.
And it wasn't John Leguizamo.
Right?
All right,
saw
so
that one
GB's
coming.
talking to goats. What are the rest of us doing?
Yeah, what are the rest of you doing?
We're here to
Syl's
see the
walking up
Goabots.
to. We're here for the goats and the goats.
Okay, well, you don't see the goats. There's
Syl
a couple
will
of
head-
buildings on the property, including a house and a barn, and so a couple of small sheds. Looks like they may have had an area for horses at one point, but they don't seem to have any horses.
Syl's gonna head for the house. Looks like
Okay.
the residence.
All right, so you head over to this kind of rundown, needing in desperate need of a paint job, and actually in desperate need of a stripping and then a paint job house. The paint is just kind of peeling and flaking away like it's been here for probably 50, 60 years. You walk up to the house, and it's a simple little, you would guess maybe 2-bedroom house, 2-story. So it's got probably a fairly large downstairs and then a couple of bedrooms upstairs. You open the door. The door is just a very simple, plain wooden door. It looks like it may have been replaced more recently because it's got a nice paint job on it. Nice kind of just deep burgundy door on this house. You can see through a couple of the windows there nearby. The curtains are open, and the windows are open for ventilation. So I mean, you could literally just climb through a window if you wanted. And you knock on the door, and there's you wait a few minutes. There's no answer.
Hello.
Nathan's gonna try.
Hello? It's us. 2 of us from
It's
yesterday.
us.
He wasn't done speaking, Logan.
They're like, it's us.
Lanik will open the door.
Okay.
It's open. Inside is a very simple, sort of rustic farmhouse. Nice wooden table. Everything seems to be fairly well taken care of. Everything is very clean. There's a single dish in the kitchen that's kind of attached to the area there, and to the living room. And that's it. There's not a lot of other going on. There's stairs heading up. There's a little an old sort of record player, hand crank record player there. Not sure if it works or not, but it seems to be there. And, yeah, there's not a lot going on though.
Syl takes her hat off and just sort of has it like fiddling in her hands as she's
Okay.
looking around.
Should we not wait to be invited in?
Not sure anybody's here. Hello?
Lark's still standing outside. He's gonna be he's currently looking at the paint on the side of the house, and he's kind of just chipping away
All right.
some of
it
the
just
parts.
flakes away.
Nathan's gonna move and he's gonna stand pretty close to her because he can see her body language.
Pretty close to the what?
Still.
Ah, got it.
Do we notice any odd absences of sound?
No, you hear farm animal sounds. You hear house creaking in floors. The wind blowing through. It smells like a farm. It's got kind of that farm scent to it, and very earthy. There's nothing really out of place here, other than there's nobody here.
Syl will leave the house and walk around towards, let's say, like the stable that used to look like horses or something, and call out, Mr. Matthias.
Nathan's with him.
All right. Shit. So all the way at the back of the property, there's a shed. And you hadn't noticed at the time because it's kind of facing slightly away from you, but the door looks like it's open. And as you say, Mr. Matthias, from here, a fair distance away, evidently he heard you, and he just kind of pops his head out. This kind of wild, kind of just unkempt gray hair. Big bushy eyebrows, just wispy kind of white mutton chops almost. Big ears that kind of stick out, a huge forehead, like it's like starting to bald, and wearing kind of a green tunic, and he's got a little pipe sticking out of his mouth, a little white, very thin, simple pipe. And he kind of like looks over and smiles. You can see he's missing a couple of teeth. And he just kind of waves at you, and pops back inside the shed.
Okay.
Should we go figure out?
Yeah, I'm a follow.
Okay.
As you guys start to head out that direction, I assume everyone's going?
We found him!
Yeah, we'll close the door to the house and follow them.
Okay.
Lark follows, yep.
GB going
follows. GB walks over, and one of the goats follows him as he's talking.
Right, well, the goats are in their own enclosure, but yeah, you can talk along the edge of their enclosure till you get to the end of it. All right, so you guys are calling out, or you guys are walking that way, and a few minutes later he pops out. He's carrying a pitchfork. It looks like, well, no, it wouldn't be a pitchfork. It's gonna be hay. It would be probably a rake or a hoe. He's over his shoulder, and he's kind of walking your way. Just kind of a goofy little walk. You know, kind of imagine if Shaggy from Scooby Doo became a crazy old man, became Old Man Jenkins. That's kind of what happens.
It was Shaggy all along,
and the cycle of violence continues.
The cycle of fraud.
Yes, it's always fraud and fear tactics. He's just kind of like do kind of like Jar Jar Binks was likable, just do.
Forward hunch.
And he just kind of comes up and he gets maybe 30, 40 feet from you. He goes, "Well, hi, how y'all doing?"
Hi. Doing fine, thank you. We're here because a friend of ours brought some people who look like me here. Is that true?
I don't think I've ever seen anyone who looks just like you. Nope, not at all.
Even vaguely like me?
Well, vaguely like you, like how? Like they got 10 toes, 10 fingers, and 2 arms?
Like they're this color?
Nope, not that color exactly. Nope.
Are there 3 new people here?
I don't know if I'd call them people, but there are 3 new things and beings here. Yeah.
Sure. Where are they, and may I see them, please?
Well, where did I put them? I don't rightly remember. You're welcome to look around. I'm sure they're around here somewhere.
Where would you normally put people-sized stuff?
Wherever they're most comfortable.
Thank you. You're very helpful.
Oh, I know it. Thank you.
How is your farm doing?
Oh, it's doing just fine. I have no complaints around here.
That's good. You have very good hearing. I'm sure you'd hear complaints if there were any.
I'm sure I would.
Okay. Thank you. And Syl will head towards the horse stable.
And he goes over to the goats and goes in the enclosure, starts cleaning things up.
There's a dog there. I don't remember a dog.
GB's gonna follow Matthias.
Okay. And he stops at the gate and sees you. He says, "Oh, little puppy, you ain't gonna chase my goats if I open this door, are you?"
No, I wanted to talk to you about them.
Oh, all right. He opens the door and lets you in. Seems to not be fazed by you at all.
How did you know Hobbs?
Oh yeah, I knew Hobbs real well. A good friend of mine.
How did you end up with the goats? Was
well,
there
after the tragedy, some of them were still left. I went and checked over the property, and I found them. I brought them here.
Thank you. We caught up just now. It was nice. They didn't say much, but I was able to tell them what I've been up to.
Oh, they talk to me all the time. They didn't talk to you at all?
I don't have that kind of magic.
Magic? All right.
I mean, they, made noises, but I didn't understand.
That's strange. They talk to me just as plain as you're talking to me right now.
Maybe they didn't like me.
No, I'm sure they liked you just fine.
Well, it's nice to meet you, sir.
It's very nice to meet you, too. What's your name?
Gareth, sir. GB.
Gareth. GB, that sounds familiar. Why does that sound familiar?
Well, if you knew Hobbs, then he might have mentioned me. He sort of made me what I am today.
No. Oh, all right. Okay. You used to belong to him, and well, where do you belong to now? That nice statue lady.
Well, let's just say that the fire set me free.
Oh, are you doing okay? You eating enough? You look a little scrawny.
I'm doing great. Someone bought me sandwiches today.
Oh, kindness to strangers always be very appropriate.
He wasn't a stranger. He did only have one eye, though.
I don't know what to do with that info.
He's strange in
How
some
are these
capacity.
things related?
He's strange a little bit.
He's a little strange. Well, that's good. He reached out and pats you. I gotta get to work here now.
Okay. Would you mind if I came back and said hello every once in a while?
Oh, GB, you're welcome back
It's
anytime
nice
you
meeting.
like.
Okay. He wags his tail and leaves.
You got a problem with that gate over there?
I can walk just fine.
Okay.
Wow.
That was the
Uh,
purest thing.
That was
will
subtle
ever
as
happen.
shit, Andy.
Thank you.
That was the purest thing that will ever happen on this street.
Oh, challenge accepted.
So,
He's literally a
where are you
dog.
guys headed?
Towards the horse house.
The horse house?
Yes.
I'm heading to the horse house. All right.
From the purest to the least.
To the least pure so far.
He had to
Challenge
balance it
accepted.
out. He couldn't handle all that sugar-coated
Sugar-coated sill face.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Not yet.
gonna have a
Not
thin
yet.
candy coating.
It's gonna be great.
All right. So you guys head out to the horse house.
The horse house.
The stables are very run down. They're
Just
probably
say
the most run
stable.
down. The most run down thing on the farm here. They haven't been used for years. There's no. I mean, there's several enclosures, but there's no closed-in door. So you get over there, and there's just kind of all just broken down wood and in disrepair. I mean, you would think if you leaned on one of the beams, you'd probably knock the whole thing over.
Probably not this thing. What else was on the property?
There's a barn, and then there's a couple of sheds, large
Mm, but-
sheds.
Barn next.
Yeah, we should check the
So you
box.
start wandering off to the other side, and as you guys are kind of wandering off over to the other side, you notice that walking up from a ways off, but towards this farm very purposefully, are two individuals. They look human, or at least from this distance. It's fairly far away. They're wearing kind of very nicer traveling clothes, they're working clothes, but they're really kind of not upper class, but I meant just really really nice work clothes. And they seem to be heading towards the farm, but they're a ways off from you because you're at the back of the property at this point.
Should we check that out?
Yeah. I mean, you're good at talking to rich people.
More or less, I'm decent.
I could try.
Sure.
Her sun hat is like squishing her ears down.
Syl looks back at the barn. Okay, let's do it
Still,
quick.
you can go. It's okay.
Okay. Call
I
me
will go
if
with
you
you.
need me. Okay, Lark. Call me if you need me. Just yell out. I'll come running.
I know. Shall we, Rosie?
You need a friend.
Yeah.
Lanark, do you want to come with us?
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Alright.
He's gonna go.
Alrighty, so Nathan, Rosie, and Lennox head towards the front of the property, while GB, Lark, and Syl head to the back.
Yep.
Split the
All right.
party again.
So GB, Lark, and Syl, you guys would get there first because you're already mostly towards the back of the property. You get to the barn, and there's two doors. There's one like a normal door, and then there's like this one big sliding door that's almost half the side of one side of the barn.
Lark's gonna try to open it.
Which one?
The sliding one.
So you just grab and start to push the sliding one aside. You hear some creaking, and then the wheels squeak a little bit where it's on the rails, but you get it over there just fine, and you just open up the big, large side of the barn, and inside is a lot of what you'd expect in a barn. There's equipment and a cart, and there's that hasn't been used in a while because it needs a beast of burden, and none of the beasts here are very burdenful. And there's some hay and just all sorts of just stuff you'd expect. Plow and stuff. There's a ladder off to one side that kind of goes up to a loft on half of the barn as well.
Hello? Are you in here? My name is Syl. I'm a friend of... I'm a teammate of Owen's. First?
You want to just go upstairs?
I guess. My brain tells me that 3 Goa might not be too secure up on a loft, but sure. She'll climb up the ladder.
All right. As you start to climb the ladder, it creaks pretty hard.
I'm about 400 pounds.
Yeah. So you're not sure that this is a safe thing to do.
I don't think they're up there.
Okay. I could go up.
I
Maybe.
could throw you.
Yeah, that'd work.
We call it the fastball special.
Don't throw the dog!
I just heard a dog collar rattle in the back of my room.
No!
What excellent Foley.
Whiskey is like, no!
Lark holds out he holds out like a cradle. His hand.
GB just immediately jumps in your arms.
You can just toss him up and he can look up. Whoop. Whoop.
What would you prefer?
Tossing straight up in the
Underhand.
air.
All right. He tosses GB up underhand.
So you do like a granny lob from underneath, and
Yeah,
toss him
he'll
up there
bend his
gently. Go ahead.
knees.
Give
so
me
that it's
an athletics check.
gentle.
God.
One thing, don't tell the goblin.
Don't tell the elf.
As Lark is throwing him up, Carl flies into the barn to watch what happens.
Carl.
Girl, sadist.
So he kind of gets you up there, sort of. Give me a dexterity save to see if you can grab onto the edge and climb up.
Oh,
Syl is underneath him just in case he falls.
That's an 8.
Okay. So
So
he
then-
scratch, and still give me a dexterity save to catch the pupper.
Can I see him? Do I get my barbarian advantage to?
What is this?
I get, or is it only when I'm raging?
No,
that
it's,
I get
it's
advantage.
danger senses all
to
the
dex-
time. Yeah, it's advantage.
Yeah,
on
my
dex
danger
saves.
senses. I get advantage on dex saves if I can see the thing.
Is it anything? I thought it was particular certain thing. Anyway, that's fine. Go ahead. I'd like to read it later, but that's fine. This is a silly thing. It will be more hilarious when you fail with advantage.
Dex
I was
save.
like, so the next session, GB has his leg in a cast, and he has to wear the cone of shame to keep him from itching.
Oh
So you catch
18.
GB. GB lands perfectly, upside down in a princess carry inside of your arms.
Your
So-
application has been approved.
Then
You are the new dog catcher.
That was good.
So we'll scritch him on the head and then put him down.
Can you actually hold me for a second? I'm gonna turn my head into a bat, not a bat, a raven, and he'll put his head into Carl, and
Okay, let's be
fly
more
Carl
clear.
up.
You will telepathically link with
Sure,
Carl the
yeah,
Raven.
Exactly.
So now it's like a
Great.
dog buddy with a
No,
raven standing
Just a full
for his
raven.
head.
Not even a raven's head, just a full
Just a
raven.
full raven, yes.
Let's
legs and
never
all.
assume that the audience knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think anyone knows what I forgot who Carl was. So I was like, who the fuck?
My apologies. Yes, Carl is a raven familiar that flies around most of the time, sort of not near GB, just sort of following him around
Just
in
does
case
his own
he's
thing.
needed.
I just
He mostly
realized
does.
we both have bird familiars and they probably talk.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
They
yeah.
probably talk
they
about you
absolutely
guys.
just fucking like she's a bougie bitch. Anyway.
They just talk about you behind your bags. Do you believe these asshats?
So you go into caw roll, and he starts to fly around in the barn.
Yeah, just to go up to see if they're up there.
What's its passive? Or is it your
One
passive?
moment, please. Uh, 13.
Okay. So Carl's looking around and doesn't quite see anything.
It'll fly back down, and GB will his eyes clear of sort of a misty whiteness, and he says, "No, I didn't see anything up there."
Okay. She puts him down, tugs her hat back on. Okay, where's next?
We should look in the lower stables, each one of them.
The sheds? Okay.
The lower stable?
Do you
The
mean,
upper
do you mean the
stable's the lower
stalls?
stable.
Down on the bottom. We haven't opened all the doors yet, have we?
Well, there's no
For the
doors in the
horses?
barn. It's just full of equipment.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No worries. Yeah, there's no
Then-
stables within here. The stables were a separate building. This looks like just equipment storage. One big building with a loft. As you turn around to leave, something falls from the outside of the building, or jumped and lands in front of you, in front of the door. It is a statuesque sort of creature. It is kind of white and yellow. Stands slowly from its superhero pose landing, of course, and kind of looks up at you. It's bald, wearing only pants at this point. Has a kind of a semi-muscular sculpt to it. The rest of you think maybe a golem of some sort, but still, there's no question in your mind. This is a Goa. And he kind of just looks up a little bit and looks at you. You're seeking me.
Yeah. Hi. I'm Syl.
First.
That's very nice to meet you. You don't have any hair.
I removed it.
Ah. Some of us have hair, depending on if they're made that way. Personally, I like being a little aerodynamic.
It was fragile and weak.
That's new. Well, I guess a lot of things about you are probably new. So, how much do you understand about what you are? What we are?
As much as I need to right now.
Okay. Well, do you have any questions for me? I have some for you.
I have no questions at this time.
Do you remember anything from before you were this?
There is nothing from before I was this.
Do you have dreams when you sleep?
This is the first time you caught him off guard. And he hesitates a little bit, and you see a little bit of a hint of something. I don't understand them.
Well, what do you see?
Light.
That makes sense. It's, I get that sometimes. It's all the air shale.
The others are there as well. Light and wit.
In your dream?
And I am in theirs.
Well, I see other Goa sometimes when I sleep. It just means that you're never really alone.
Do you find comfort in that, Syl?
Yeah, I was made to be a champion for our people. I'm supposed to protect our people and the air shale, and so seeing it when I go to sleep reminds me what my purpose is and who I'm responsible for.
Describe your birth, Syl.
Oh. Well, I was only there for the end of it. But I've seen a couple. They take a really long time. But I stayed awake for most of it.
I find time to be less a concern the longer I am in this form. What do you mean a long time?
Well, it takes a lot of days and sometimes weeks to sculpt the form, especially if if the maker's very particular, that's usually where the bulk of the time takes, because it's about, making it the way you envision. So that takes some I can't say time. It doesn't. Okay.
When I sculpted the other two, I did not make them how I wished them to be. I made them as they were meant to be.
Well, that sounds very good.
And it took mere moments.
Wow. Well, when I say envision, I mean, some people think that they've, seen their children in their dreams, and that helps inspire what they sculpt. So maybe it's sort of the same thing. I don't know how the dreams are made, so.
Hi.
These are my friends, GB and Lark. They're my allies.
Hi, First. It's nice to meet you.
It is nice to meet you, First. Before the others.
Mike.
They can be trusted. They're good people.
I'm sure.
I brought you and your friends a few gifts. And he'll mage hand out a bouquet of flowers for him. It matches the one that he gave Syl earlier. I have a couple more for the other two, but it's nice to meet you.
And he'll take it and he'll look at it. What is the symbology of this gift of death?
Well, those are still technically alive. If you put them in water, they'll live for a little while longer. And
so it's slow death.
I can feel this, GB. I got you.
Okay, yes, please.
So I have found that there is something beautiful and powerful in accepting the temporary nature of many lives in this world. I paint my my face and my skin often. I didn't get a chance to today, but I don't make it permanent. I let it just exist how it's going to exist and fade how it's going to fade. Since, well, I think you'll find eventually we're around for a very long time, for lack of a better word. And sometimes taking the time to appreciate that not everything lasts that long can help us appreciate the world as it is.
I don't feel temporary.
You're not necessarily.
People generally don't feel that way. Yeah, mortality more comes at you in waves.
As long as you take care of yourself.
Hold on one second. I'm trying to remember something you said earlier. I'm trying to remember what I want to go back to. Let's cut over the others while I think about that.
Sure.
Can you type up real quick what you said a little bit before that? I know it's gonna be hard to remember. Okay. You said several things all at once. I wanted to ask 3 different questions and I couldn't catch it. It was
about like the birthing or about
it was about the birthing a little bit and talking about the dream a little bit. So if you could just type that up real quick and send it to me so I can see that. So the other 3 of you head up to the front of the barn, and Matthias is standing there raking up stuff, and these talking to 2 of these 2 gentlemen. They look human. One has kind of a Riker-esque kind of beard on him, and the other one has is just kind of clean shaven, looks a little younger. They look they're dressed identical. Looks like it's almost more like a uniform. You've never seen it before, though. Just kind of a black shirt with a kind of brown jacket over it. Simple pants, but everything is identical to them. They each have the same hip pouch, same belt. They are very obviously designed to be identical. Both wearing the exact same ring, actually, on their left hand.
Nathan's gonna see this, and as they approach, just
Helen Wilmette.
The older one with the beard turns to you. Well met.
How may we assist?
Are you the owner of this farm?
No, I'm not. But we're visiting, and we was wondering if we could be. He would be more eloquent. I've had a day. We were wondering if we could be of any assistance.
I suppose. My name is Thaman. I am here investigating murders. 3 of them.
3 murders, you say?
Yes.
Is there anything you can share with us?
Not a lot. 1 second. I'm not allowed to reveal a lot of information, but the last couple of days, several people have died due to a drug. It's called Daydream.
So I've heard.
I am here to investigate, and the information I have says that the murderers may be here.
The murderers may be here. What on earth would lead you to that conclusion?
Reliable information.
What do they look like?
The murderers?
Yeah.
Tall, hairless, stone.
And how exactly are they involved?
As I said, murderers.
Okay, but you said it had to do with the drug, so are they
Correct.
distributing it? Are they, like, what's...
I don't think I'm ready to reveal any more information. And they kind of turn back to Matthias. Old man, is he deaf? And he kind of turns back to you, because it seems like they haven't been able to get anything out of him. He's just whistling and kind of raking.
He's very determined to get his work done, I guess.
He's getting up there in years too. He's a little You know,
No, I think I resemble that remark a bit. When you're pushing 300 years old, sometimes you get a bit hard to hearing occasionally.
You're 300 years old?
Not quite, but pretty
Oh
close.
my god.
yeah, you thought that I was old at being 30.
Anyway, the man's clearly not willing to talk to you right now. I suggest you go on. You can see there's no statues out here killing anybody.
And they kind of take a look around. I think we'll have a look around anyway. And they start to walk deeper into the farm. Start heading towards the stables first, which is one of the closer buildings.
Nathan is going to tap Max and kind of tell her find them and just kind of alert them. So she's gonna go whoop, and she's gonna fly off. And she's gonna kind of use her owl vision to try to find the rest of the party.
It took you guys a bit to kind of walk that way. So as you send her off and kind of turn around, you and both of these gentlemen look back, and at the back of the property, the barn door is open, and your friends are starting to walk out of it, and standing on top of the building is a statue. And they kind of just stop and look as it just steps off and lands on the ground in front of your friends. And they seem to start having a conversation. The two gentlemen don't rush off right away. They kind of just stop and move to the side and just start watching a bit.
Whoa.
So right about that point in the conversation, I'm going to guess that the owl swoops down and starts pantomiming out a warning.
She's gonna land on Syl's head and kind of pat, like just pecking her, not aggressively, but like a hey kind of a thing.
Hey, Syl,
listen. Listen.
When Carl does that, he just wants some seed. You got any?
No, not on. Syl will look over First's shoulder since she knew that she told Nathan to tell her if something was wrong.
Nathan just
Syl cranes her neck out and around First.
You can
to
see
if
the same two gentlemen are now a little bit closer, standing by the stables, about halfway to you, but off to one side of the property. They seem to be watching.
Maybe we should take this somewhere else. Would that be okay first if we went somewhere else?
I do prefer to control the situation, so
Okay.
I'm not tied up again for 2 days.
I'm so sorry that happened. I wish I had been there. I know how disorienting it can be when you first wake up if you don't have someone to help center you, and I'm so sorry that happened. I won't let that happen again. It's my theme song. You really should make a note about what that song is called and then
Suddenly we're in a
remove it
speakeasy.
from the folder.
I would be
Battle
glad
begins.
to, and if I ever think about it when I'm not in the middle of the stream, I will.
Type a note, right? I'll type a note right now. What's it called?
Electro swing.
Suddenly we're in a
yeah,
cuphead
it's
battle.
electric.
I mean, I know that's the genre, but that's what the song's
It's
called.
called electro swing.
Okay. I will
It's
remind you.
The most generic name for it.
I have this great song. It's called Rock.
Electro swing ballroom. I just don't want it at the beginning of combat. That's all.
What do you mean you don't want combat sounding like the freaking Benny Hill song?
It's amazing. First, I don't know who they are. I don't know what they want. I just want to make sure that you're safe.
You say that these rituals to create Goa take a long time after sculpting. What do you mean?
Well, there's a lot of different magics that have to be used, and there's sometimes usually more than one helping the maker. So there are things that have to be done to change what the airshell is. There are things that have to be done to imbue us with consciousness. There's some, I don't know all the details. I never tried. You have to do a lot of studying to become a maker. There's a lot of details to remember. But there's some very old golomancy that they use. That's sort of where the origin of the rituals came from, is making beings with less free will. But that's just where the mind comes from, not where, all of you comes from.
What are the three of you doing that were at the front of the property? Have you guys started walking back? Are you just watching these guys? What are you doing?
I assume we were waiting for some kind of reaction from Syl when the owl got sent back there, and if they're just going to keep talking.
Continuing your conversation, yeah.
Yeah, then I'm probably going to start trying to close the distance in case something breaks out, because it seems like these guys are not here with good intentions.
Rosie's going to actually head over to these two guys.
Hey, look at me. Hey, what's up? Hey.
Nate's gonna go with Rosie. Because, oh god, Lanet can take care of himself and he can help those, but oh god, Rosie's tiny.
The gentlemen haven't seemed to have been paying attention to you at all, but as you get about halfway, they just seem to decide to start walking over towards Syl and the others. So unless you want to run, you're not actually going to be able to catch up with them.
I'm going to run.
Okay, all right.
I feel like Rosie has to.
So you're starting to... You're starting to run over there.
Excuse me?
Hold on a second. So Syl, you and the group also see them start to walk over, and then Rosie all of a sudden starts booking it to catch up with them.
First, we can keep talking. I'm happy to tell you whatever you want to know, but...
We were born in hours, less than hours. And he kind of looks down at his hands, and as you're looking at his hands, they kind of glisten over, like a shimmer just goes over them, and they kind of almost ripple into another color, a much brighter, more vibrant white. He goes, we are superior. And that's where we're going to take our break. We'll see you guys back in about 20 minutes.
Logan, stop it.
That's not black and white.
Every time.
All right. So now that we've met Magogha Nito,